Hello, statistics students. Here's another video on the basic ingredients for testing with categorical variables. Example 2, how to find the chi-square test statistic. In example 1, we looked at the breakfast habits. Females responding with eating breakfast at least 3 times a week, there were 206, and not eating 3 times a week, there were 92 of those females. We did A, B, and C, where we find the row, column, and grand totals. B and C, we found the expected counts for each of these. And we're going to use that, A, B, C, D, B, C, and D, I should say. And in letter E, we're going to use that to calculate the observed value of the chi-square statistic. So let's take the results that we got from example 1 and place them on here. And so now to find the observed value of the chi-square test statistic, we have to take the observed minus the expected, square that, divide by the expected value, and add that up for each one of these. So we'll start with the females stating yes. The observed is 206 minus 202 minus the expected. Expected is 202.72. And we're going to square that number and then divide that by 202.72. And putting that in the calculator, we would get a contribution of 0.0531 to the chi-square test statistic. For the males that say yes, the observed minus the expected divided by the expected. Square that numerator and divide by the denominator. And putting that into our calculator, we get 0.1106 contribution to our chi-square test statistic. Continuing on, we're going to go to females who said no. And we have an observed of 92 with an expected of 95.28 divided by the expected. So we'll put that into our calculator. 92 minus 95.28 squared divided by 95.28. And that gives us a contribution of 0.1129 to our chi-square test statistic. And the last one, males who said no. Males who said no, the observed was 49. The expected was 45.72. Divided by 45.72. Divided by 45.72. And that contribution is the biggest one, but we see that they varied far, 49, 45. And so large contribution here, 0.2353. 0.02353. And so finally, we add all those up to see what our test statistic is, to see how big or how small it is. giving us 0.5119. So that's our chi-square test statistic, and we have to determine if this is big or small. 0.511 is, as we're going to see, is pretty small. Compared to the rolling of the die example, we got a chi-square of 1. And also compared to the violent TV watching as a child and abusiveness as an adult, we ended up with a chi-square of 7.4. So in the next video, I'll talk about how to take that chi-square value and turn it into a p-value with the using the chi-square distribution, and we'll talk about what we determined to be large and what we determined to be small. So this concludes this video for the basic ingredients for testing with categorical variables, example 2, how to find the chi-square test statistic.